Welcome to the Journey Club video library. So you are amongst the lucky few because Saksham and me, we have decided that we are going to be giving you guys, everybody who is inside the community, free access of all the things that are working for us in the real time. Okay. Now the idea is that all these videos are going to be raw, unfiltered, in-depth content that's working for us and is something that we are executing or have executed in the past. We are not going to be recording any video just for the sake of recording it because we think it might work for you. Okay. The entire idea is that we are just sharing our experience of building our own agency business and our creator business, what's working for us and what's working for us in the real time specifically. Okay. Because the idea of social media is that everybody would find the information, they will apply it on their own, and once they have kind of milked the information, they will put it across on socials to get the attention. But the thing is that if you have found something on YouTube and it already has millions of views, you probably are very late to that information, right? So we are giving this perk to everybody who is inside the community, that you get what's working for us in the moment before anybody else get to know about it. Okay, we might launch these videos on our YouTube after you have gotten the access of it, but anyways, I think these videos are not going to work on YouTube or any other social because these videos are not going to be optimized for algorithms. The idea is to give you guys the real sauce of what's working without any filter, without any editing, or without any retention tactics. Okay, so yeah, that's the idea. And the first video that I thought to record is around how to plan your weekend day for maximum efficacy. Right now, we have basically planned a lot of videos. Some of the videos are going to get recorded by Saksham. Some of the videos are going to get recorded by me. Okay, so the first video that I am recording is basically how to plan your weekend days for maximum efficacy. Now, I thought this would be a great topic to start this video library with, because as a creative entrepreneur, you need to understand that planning your weekend day is one of the most highest rewarding activities that you can do for yourself. Okay, because अगर तुम्हें यही नहीं पता कि तुम्हें किन चीज़ों पे काम करना है, then it is impossible for you to produce the output that you want to produce. Okay, so this video I'm going to be diving deep into how to not work, but plan your weekend day for maximum efficacy. Now, the idea of efficacy is to work on things that actually move the needle in the forward direction, that allow you to get closer to the goals that you have for yourself. Okay, it is not about productivity, it is not about efficiency, it is not about maximum output, it is about producing the output that will move the needle in the forward direction. If you are a founder, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're leading a team, or even if you're a solopreneur, it is very important for you to invest your working hours on things that help you build leverage, that help you build cash flow, that help you move things in the right direction. Because if you're working on the things that are redundant, that can be automated, or maybe if you are a founder can be delegated, then you are wasting your time. Or also if you're working on things that are not required and are not moving things in the right direction, still you are wasting a lot of time. It doesn't matter how productive you might feel or how productive you are, or you flex it with your friends or on social media or on Twitter. Okay, so when it comes to maximum efficacy, there are three pillars of it, in my opinion. Number one is sleep. Second is deep work. Third is prioritization. Okay. Now the idea of sleep is that you need to figure out what is the bare minimum sleeping quotient for yourself in order for you to be able to focus on the things that you work on, in order for you to get recover. Okay. In order for you to get recovered properly. Now it can be different for everybody. For you it might be 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours. For me it is 8 hours. I cannot function without 8 hours of deep sleep, right? So that's what I optimize for, because if I do not optimize for that, it doesn't matter how early I wake up or how late I'm working, I will not be able to produce the output, right? So sleep is very important. I cannot kind of emphasize this more, that you need to make sure that you're sleeping properly so your body is recovered properly, right? Now, one of the apps that I use on my iPhone for tracking my sleep is Rise. It's a free app, but I highly recommend getting its premium subscription because it gives you a lot of data in terms of your sleep. And it also gives you a very important metric called sleep debt. Okay. Now, the idea of sleep debt is that that's the amount of sleep that your body needs to get recovered 100%. Right now, there are days where I'm only sleeping 5 hours, only sleeping 6 hours. Okay, maybe doing some, I'm pulling all-nighters. Now, in that scenario, even though I'm able to do it for, let's say, a week, after a week, my body will be in sleep debt, right? So this app tells me how much debt I have accumulated. And so the idea is to kind of get rid of that debt, like you would want to for any sort of debt, any sort of financial debt as well. That for a long term is not good, and so it is not good for your body as well. So you need to get rid of that debt, right? So I use an app called Rise. I highly recommend it. It is a great app, and I'm sure it's also available on Android for free as well. Okay. Now, another two main pillars of kind of planning your day to produce maximum efficacy is deep work and prioritization. And in this video, I'm going to be diving deep into these two things, and we are going to be discussing everything in a lot more detail. Okay. So let's get into it. Oh yeah. So first thing first is planning, right? Now, even before we talk about what are the things that you need to do on a daily basis, how you should structure your day, I think you need to first focus on planning your week, okay? Because if you have not planned your week properly, then it doesn't matter how much focus you are on a daily basis, you might end up working on the wrong things. Okay, and that's exactly that we would want to avoid, because this entire video is around working on the things that we really want to work on and will give us the maximum output. Okay, so first thing that I do is that on any Sunday afternoon, I'll sit down and I'll write down all the things, all the tasks that I have to do on priority and all the tasks that I intend to do. Okay. So if you are a, aspiring entrepreneur, if you are, kind of overachiever, you would always want to do a lot more things than what are the things, than the bare minimum things, right? But the reality is that you won't be able to do all the things that you intend to do. But it is always great to sit down and write down all the things that you intend to do and that you must do, right? So what I do is on Sunday afternoon, I basically write down everything that I'm supposed to do or I want to do in the coming week. Once I have clarity on that, then I basically move on, I'm really sorry, to daily prioritization, okay? So the idea is that write down all the things that bother you first thing in the morning, right? So what I do is every day when I wake up, I do not sit on my desk directly, okay? I'll basically sit down on my sofa with a cup of coffee, a pen and a notebook, and I'll ask myself this question: what are the things that bother me the most? Okay, this is the concept that I learned from Tim Ferriss. Now, the idea is that when you answer this question of what are the things that bother me the most of the times when we think from the perspective of work, these are most important things that you should do first thing in the morning, right? Because the things that are bothering you are the things that are important, right? Because if something is not important, it will not bother you, right? So from the work's perspective, the things that are bothering you, write down all the things, because these are the things that are important, and you should get these things off your checklist on a weekly basis early in the week. Okay, not first day in the first hour of the day, but early in the week. Okay, so you need to prioritize for the important things, and the things that bother you most of the times are the important things, right? So I think that's a great exercise if you do. I have been doing it for a long while now, and I think it's really important. Keeps my heart at peace, keeps my mind at peace, because I always know that, okay, these are things that are bothering me. Okay, this is how I can solve these things. Okay, so I'm always at peace. So write down all the things that bother you first thing in the morning. Write down all the things that bother you. Okay, I think there is some error over here, right? So I'll just kind of remove this. I think I duplicated it. Okay, so you need to write down all the things that bother you first thing in the morning, and once that's pretty much sorted out, what you need to do is you need to basically prioritize for creative work and admin work. Okay, so what I do is, and what I recommend you doing, is prioritize creative tasks in the sacred hours. Okay, so for me, my sacred hours are from the hour I wake up to the lunchtime. Okay, so if I'm waking up at 7 a.m. to 2 p.m., that's my sacred hours. Okay, now in these hours, I'm only prioritizing the creative work. Okay, now how would I define the creative work? For me, right, I think you can define it for yourself as well, but I'll just give you the example of how I prioritize things. So first thing in the morning, which is my sacred hours, I prioritize all the creative work. Okay, so content ideation, content scripting, it would be, I'm really sorry. Okay, so content ideation, content scripting, I'll just change the color. Recording of the videos, editing and design. For example, I'm recording this video, it's 1 p.m. Okay, so I'm recording this around 1. Once this video is done, I'll just have my lunch. Okay, and the reason why I do it is because, okay, I'm really sorry. So the reason why I do it is because as soon as I eat lunch, my insulin spikes, my blood sugar goes up, and I am just lazy. Okay, I feel like sleeping. Okay, and it is impossible for me to do the focused deep work. Okay, and I have found it for myself that in order for me to be the most creative, I need that mental energy, I need that bandwidth, I need to be focused, and I need to be sharp. Okay, so I just drink my black coffee from 7 a.m. until lunch and I don't eat anything in between. Okay, now this might not be the best advice if you want to build muscle, lose fat, or whatever, right? But this is the best advice for maximum productivity. Okay, so on the days where you feel like, yeah, I'm unable to get the work done, wake up, sit down for yourself for half an hour, don't do anything, just write things down, what I just told you. What are the things that bother you the most? Take a cup of coffee, sit down to work. Done. Don't eat anything. Don't eat anything. Okay. As soon as you reward your body first thing in the morning without producing any output, it just becomes lazy because it doesn't want to produce the output now. It doesn't want you to keep focused because that's how we are evolutionarily wired, right? So for maximum productivity, you just need to maybe starve for a while. Okay. From 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. I don't eat anything. I just get on the black coffee and I'm good to go for the day and I get the maximum work done. Okay. So the idea was to get back to it, to prioritize creative work in the sacred hours. Now these sacred hours can be different for everybody and I'll get back to it in a while. But for now, just remember that you need to prioritize creative work over admin work. Okay. So what I do is after lunch, I'll do the follow-ups, I'll do the lead generation, I'll do the team calls, clients calls, networking calls, and all the other things that I really want to do. Okay. And if there is something that I want to delegate to my team or I want to hire a team or I want to get on the calls, everything happens after the lunch. Because if I'm getting on the calls at 11 a.m. in the morning, I'm just wasting my peak hours. Okay. So the idea is that all human beings, we all have this cycle. Okay. So if you really think about it, okay, I'm really sorry. Right. So like you wake up in the morning, right? So the focus and everything goes up and then it stays there for a while. Okay. And then it goes down again. Okay. And then you will realize after lunch around like 6, 7 p.m. for me, the energy goes up again and then it stays there for a while and then I have to sleep. Okay. So this is how my day looks like in terms of my energy cycles. Okay. Now what happens is if you wake up in the morning and first thing in the morning, you basically eat sugar. Okay. So this is basically the y-axis focus. Okay. And this is the time of the day, right? So if you eat sugar, what happens is for the longest time, your energy is going to spike like this and it goes down like this. Okay. Then you eat something, right? Then it goes again and then it goes down, right? So basically the idea is for you to optimize these energy cycles for yourself, right? So I found out that for me, if I wake up early in the morning, if I don't eat anything, if I drink coffee, I have these big window of 4 to 5 hours of focused work. And this is the time where I get the most work done. Okay. So you can figure it out for yourself. But overall, the idea is that this is where you do the creative work. This is where you do the creative work. And this is where you basically do the admin work, do the calls, get on the calls, do some accounts work, do some delegation. That doesn't take a lot of your mental energy. Okay. So you're being productive in these hours. You're productive in these hours as well when you don't have any energy whatsoever. But because you're prioritizing for your admin work in these hours, you're able to get a lot more work done overall, right? So that's the idea that, okay, you need to basically prioritize for the creative work early in the morning and then you need to do the admin work when your energy cycles are not peaked. Okay. Okay. So I hope I didn't overwhelm you with this concept of energy cycles, but that's the idea. Okay. So once the planning is done, guys, once you know exactly what you're supposed to do, what are the things that you need to prioritize, you're doing creative work in the morning and you're doing, let's say admin work after the lunch. Okay. Let's say that's the pattern that you're following for yourself. The next thing is execution, right? So the idea of execution, the way I do it, the way that I have found it the most effective is that you need to fill your calendar, right? Now I'll give you a quick tour of how I do it in my calendar so you have a better idea. The idea is to fill your calendar and you need to prioritize your personal activities and other important things in life, right? My entire philosophy is that work is the part of life. Work is not life, right? So you need to basically fill your calendar with all the things that gives you happiness, all the things that are scarce, that are limited, that you must prioritize for, right? Things like working on your health, talking to your family, talking to your friends. Okay. If you're not talking to your family for a month and you just keep working, don't work. Okay. Because at the end of the day, you do majority of the things for the family, for the friends, right? So you need to stay in touch with them, right? Don't waste your time always working, right? Not waste, but don't invest your time always working, right? You need to prioritize for the good things in life as well, right? So my entire idea is simple. Once I have all the things on a weekly basis that I have to do, on any given day, I know what are the things that I need to do. I just fill my calendar and I follow the calendar. Okay. So I'll now give you a quick tour of how my calendar usually looks like. Right. So I'll open my personal calendar over here. Cool. So as you'll see over here, right? So in the morning, my calendar is almost always empty. Okay. So for example, from 7:30 to 10, let's say I have either I do my MMA training or I do my gym, right? So these hours, nobody can book a call with me because all my, tools that I use, for example, Calendly, it is all linked internally. So nobody can book a call from 7:30 to 10 because that's prioritized for my training, right? So nothing of distraction can come into my calendar in those hours, right? Because I need to prioritize my health. Okay. Then there is this big work window that I call as the sacred hours. Okay. These are the hours where I have to prioritize my creative work, right? So what I essentially do is every morning, I'll just block my calendar. For example, whatever I need to do, right? For example, Instagram scripting, right? And I'll basically save it, right? For example, if there is anything else, I can do that as well. Okay. So that's the idea, that you need to basically fill in the calendar and you need to prioritize these things that you're supposed to do on a daily basis in the creative window. Okay. After a point of time, you won't even have to do it. Okay. Because it will become very effortless for you that, okay, these are the 5 things that I need to do. These are 3 things that will get scheduled in this amount of time and in these hours. Okay. So after a point of time, you get so used to it that, okay, you know that, okay, if I need to do 10 scripts, these 10 scripts are going to take me 1 hour. So 8 to 9, I'll do this, and 9 to 10, I'll do this. So I can do 3 tasks. So I don't even have to put it in the calendar. I just know that, okay, this is what I need to do, right? Because I have kind of been following this system for a while now. So the idea is to just basically block the calendar. Now, for example, this hour over here might be a call for you, right? If you are an agency owner, you might have some calls scheduled, right? So this call will get scheduled over here. That means in this hour, you can't do any work because you need to take the call, right? So you keep your calendar open from, let's say, 1 p.m. to evening, okay? The way I do it is my calendar is blocked for these hours because I do not want any distraction, as I told you. So I'm only scheduling my creative tasks in the first window of my working hours, which is from morning to the lunchtime. Okay. Now the calls can only get booked after the lunch hour, right? So my Calendly, which is my calendar for booking the call, is only open after the lunchtime, right? So anybody can only book the call after that from around 1 p.m. to I think around 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. Okay. So for example, if you'll see, I have one call scheduled today around 3 p.m. So Saksham and me, we are getting on a call discussing about Journey Club, depending upon all the things that we need to execute, right? So this is when the call is scheduled. Now, apart from this, over here, you need to basically put all the admin tasks that you need to do. You need to get on the calls with the team. You need to discuss the results for the clients. You need to, kind of do some brainstorming in terms of how you are going to be approaching your personal brand. All those things come after the lunch. After that, you will see 7 to 8:30 p.m. I need to read and I need to learn some things. Okay. That is very massive. If I don't get good ideas in my mind, like, it's basically not worth it for me, right? So I need to always educate myself, always learn new things, always get new perspectives across my head to be able to feel that, okay, I'm improving as a person, right? So 7 to 8:30, these hours are usually scheduled for learning. 8:30 to 9:30 is family calls. Okay, I will talk to my mom, I'll talk to my dad, I'll talk to my siblings, I'll talk to my friends if I have to. So I'm prioritizing the right things. This is very important. Okay, I need to talk to my family every day, right? I try to do it. See, some days I might miss it, but if it is in my calendar, if I get the notification, the chances of me doing it gets 10x more, right? So that's why I basically keep all these things in my calendar right here. Journal 9:30, I like to sit down, journal in terms of how I felt throughout the day and what are the things that I need to do tomorrow, right? Just so I have, kind of clear idea when I wake up the next day, okay, these are things that I need to optimize for. Okay, so this is how my calendar looks like, and then I just follow my calendar and then done, boom, right? So once you have everything on the calendar, you will know that, okay, these are things that I'm getting done, and you will always be scheduling the right things because you already prioritize the things that you need to do, because you sat down with yourself on Sunday afternoon, as I told you, and you wrote down all the liver moving tasks that you need to get done in your business or in your life. Okay, so that's how the calendar works for me, right? Now, the second idea that I wanted to quickly talk about over here is that you need to converge your focus on one. This is very important, that you need to set the calendar and you need to focus on tasks at hand. If you are sitting on your desk at 8 a.m., if your calendar says that from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. you need to do this one thing, forget about everything else, okay? The idea is that you need to forget about everything else. In that moment, it's just you, your focus, and the task at hand. If you can do that, you will be able to produce maximum output, okay? Because what happens is, as human beings, we have 15 things to do, we have 5 calls to make. If you are sitting down over here with one task at hand and you're thinking about 10 other things, then you will not be able to produce the output on this one thing. with proper efficiency. Okay, so you need to look at the thing in your calendar and basically zoom in. Okay, zoom in so much that you forget about everything else. Nothing should exist over there. Okay, it should be just your focus, your desk, your keyboard, or whatever you're doing, and your focus on that one task for that 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hours, depending upon for how much time it is scheduled for. Okay, so don't think about what if and buts in this hour. Okay, the idea is to converge your focus on one. What if this happened? What if that happened? What if I'm unable to get the task done? What if I am unable to live the life that I always wanted? Okay, you don't have to get in these random loops of overthinking. So remove all the what ifs and all the buts. Just do the task. Okay, because you've already done all the thinking on Sunday afternoon that okay, this task is important, right? So in that moment, don't let your brain convince you otherwise that maybe this task is not important. No, it is important because you've already done all the thinking a couple of days before when you were sitting with yourself on Sunday afternoon, writing down all the important things that you need to get done. Okay, so idea of converging your focus on one will allow you to get the maximum work done. Okay, not maximum work done essentially, but will allow you to produce the maximum output on that one thing that you are working towards, right? So that's the idea of execution. Moving towards, you need to basically clear your mental bandwidth. Okay, so the idea is that we all humans, as humans, we have very limited mental bandwidth. Okay, so for you it could be 5 hours, for somebody it could be 7 hours, for somebody it could be 10 hours, whatever it might be, it doesn't matter. Okay, and it is not even about hours, it is about how much of the things you can think about at any given time. Okay, so if you have like 15 things that you're thinking about, you will be stressed, right? You will be anxious, you will be nervous, and you will feel tired. Okay, so the idea is to give your brain very few things to think about at any given time throughout the week. Okay, that's very important, right? So one of the concept that I want to talk about is that you need to basically clear your mental bandwidth, right? So get done with all the open loops. Now what do I mean by that is find 1 hour at the end of the week and get done with all the small tasks that are pending. Okay, so in your life you will have a lot of small tasks that you will always procrastinate. Okay, on Monday you'll be like, okay, I need to order something, it's fine, I'll order tomorrow. On Tuesday you'll be like, I'll do it tomorrow, right? So the idea of procrastination is that the more things you procrastinate in the future, even though you have procrastinated that thing, it is always somewhere in your mind. Okay, it is somewhere bothering you that okay, I need to do that as well, I need to do that as well, and these small things keeps piling up in your mind, and this pile up basically takes a lot of your mental bandwidth, right? So you need to clear that mental bandwidth at the end of the week so you can start your next week with the fresh mind. Very important. Okay, might seem like nothing, but it is very important. You will realize it when you are living alone, doing multiple things, running a business, you have a girlfriend that you need to kind of take out, like there could be just too many things that you are handling, right? So the idea is you need to find 1 hour at the end of the week and get done with all the small pending tasks, right? It could be weekly grocery for you, it could be talk to a friend or a relative, it could be replying to that pending message or email that you've been dealing, right? Sometimes you have small emails, you're like, okay, there's no priority, I'll reply on this email later, right? Schedule for small things as well. Okay, whatever these small things are, prioritize all these small things for 1 hour at the end of the week around Friday afternoon or Friday evening. Okay, so you get done all of these and you have this mental bandwidth then you can then allocate to the new fresh tasks in the next week. Okay, other thing that I would recommend, that I like to do and I recommend everybody, is that recharge and have fun. Okay, on the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, go out, take a walk, explore new things, go to a new restaurant, go to a new pub, like do whatever you want to do. Just have fun and recharge for a bit. It is important. Okay, we are social animals. If you're just sitting in the corner of your room for 3 months, you'll not be able to function properly, right? You will basically depress yourself out because you will keep overthinking about random things and you will keep worrying about things, right? So we are social animals. We need to be in human contact. Okay, very important. Have fun, recharge, because you've earned it. Monday to Friday, if you are packing your calendar up and if you don't even have time for yourself, you're just working, churning the output out, Saturday or maybe just Sunday, you deserve to go out for a couple hours and have fun. Okay, work on your passion project. If you don't want to go out maybe, or if you don't want to spend money. If you are thinking to stay at home, work on your passion projects. Okay? Things that actually keep you happy, things that actually make you happy. It could be learning a new instrument. It could be kind of creating your own clothing brand on the side just for the sake of it. It could be creating your own design Instagram page. Like, you could do multiple things, whatever your passions are. Just work on these projects. And the idea is that all these things, you're not doing these things to make money. Okay. The idea is that you're doing these things to optimize for happiness. Okay. Now, happiness has nothing to do with money. Okay. Over a longer period of time, and you will realize it. I'll not give you a lecture on money and happiness. It's fine. Make a lot of money and you will be happy for a while. But I think there has to be some things that you just do for your happiness and not for money, right? So just do these. You can do outings, maybe go for a trek, maybe go for a day trip, do whatever you want to do. You got the idea, right? The idea is to basically free up that mental bandwidth and essentially kind of recharge for the next week, right? So that's the idea quickly. So that was about, the idea of clearing your mental bandwidth. Moving forward, find your most productive hours, right? So we've talked about a lot of things. It is about, for me, my most productive hours are early morning. Okay. Early morning, if I can wake up at 5, 6, 7, I'm happy. Okay. I can get so much done that I surprise myself some days. Okay. But for you, it could be late night. Okay. I don't know. For you, it could be the work that you put in from 9 p.m. after dinner or 10 p.m. after dinner to 3 a.m. in the morning, right? It could be different for you. The idea is for you to figure out what are your most productive hours. Once you know what are these most productive hours for you, you need to prioritize the most important tasks in these productive hours. You need to be the least distracted in your most productive hours. These productive hours are the sacred hours that we talked about earlier in the video, right? So prioritize the creative tasks, prioritize the things that actually improve your life directly as a result of it if you work on it in your most sacred hours, right? So find your most productive hours. For you, it could be day. For you, it could be morning. For you, it could be night. For me, it's early morning, right? But it could be different for everybody. Don't fall for people, kind of making you feel bad for you not waking up early, okay? It's different for everybody, right? So for you, it could be 3 a.m. in the morning. And you sleep at 4 a.m. Doesn't matter. When you're young, when you're in early 20s, all these things doesn't matter. I recommend early morning. I recommend that to everybody. But I know people who work late at night and they're really, really successful. They really get a lot of work done and they create some good art as well, right? So this is the idea, guys. This is the entire idea of how to plan your weekend days for maximum efficacy, right? No Pomodoro techniques. No fancy to-do lists, no timers or anything. I just get the work done, okay? One more thing I'll add to it is I'll use a tool called Brain FM. Brain FM is a paid tool and I just use my headphones, put in the focus music over there and just churn the work, okay? And yeah, apart from this, it is about supplementation. Keep yourself healthy. Make sure your omegas are good. Make sure you're taking a healthy meal. Very important. Make sure you're not eating a lot of sugar. These are all the basics, right? But every now and then I'll eat a piece of cake as well. I like it. So that's not a problem. But overall, the idea is how can you do the work that produce maximum efficacy, okay? That actually help you move forward towards your goals. Very important. If you can just do this, if you can prioritize, if you can fill your calendar, if you can follow the calendar, and if you can always kind of keep yourself focused on a couple of things, whenever you're working on those things and you forget about all the other things, you will be able to produce a lot of output. So that's it for this one. I'll see you in the other video. Bye.